very adaptable. So it makes it easier for us, especially with stuff out here. Because there's things that are always changing out here. We don't know, you never know what kind of sounds there are out in the water. You don't know what other animals there are out in the water. These guys, they don't really interact with the harbor seals at all. Really,
he's looking for a free lunch.
As soon as the harbor seals come around, as soon as the sea lion gets around them, they take off. We do watch for other animals around. So if there are other sea lions in the water, like we know are right here, we don't take the animals out. We don't have that direct interaction if we can avoid it. If it happens, well, it happens and we deal with it. But it's just easier that way.
Does she ever miss?
Oh, sometimes, not very often. I mean, yeah, she's blind in one eye, but she's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Flips them around, go down a certain way.
So even,
oh yeah, he's
Go down head first.
so even, I mean, just now, just the level of training they have for that. Quite often, particularly when we have visiting researchers coming in, so the way it'll work is they'll go, oh, what do you need the animals to do? Oh, we need to do this. And then they get here and they suddenly say, oh, you know, be really good, if they could do this and they could do that, and you've got like 12 hours to train it. So for example, we were doing a study with some people that were funded through the Navy, and they wanted blood samples right after the animals were diving. Now usually when we take blood samples from the animals, we bring out a vet team, we anesthetize the animals. It's fairly difficult to get blood samples out of them, and you never do it sort of voluntarily, and suddenly we had to train up the animals to do voluntary blood samples with the trainers.
They gave us 2 months.
Yeah, it gives 2 months to do that, which is a huge undertaking.
Yeah, behavior like that would normally be trained over 6 months to a year before you really even be getting much in the way of samples, let alone multiple samples per day or per week. So within a couple months, we were able to get multiple sticks in the animals' flippers in the same day, and we have a pretty high success rate still for getting blood from them. And these are the only Steller sea lions. Not that there's a whole lot of Steller sea lions in the world, but according to Marty, who's our vet, they're the only Steller sea lions that have voluntary bloods trained where we do it in unprotected contact. Okay, so when we do that, she lays down in there. She lays down.
We've done it on
back
the boat,
here.
on the barge.
We stretch this out. We never actually took a
No, I want them to do it on the barge.
And so we actually get the blood from the little veins.
Yeah, the little veins.
I can see a couple of the veins here. It'd be hard for you guys to actually see them, but there's a vein that runs right along there. And so we put a needle in right there. And you can get a pretty decent amount of blood. When Dave's doing bloods, when the animals are under anesthetic, he's getting
basically almost the equivalent of the fever alarm.
He's
So
getting
it's
a blood sample from
it's a
back
big
here,
vessel.
where you can't see anything, so it's a completely blind stick for him to get. And they have a way of actually like tracking it out and stuff, which I don't do that.
On the other hand, you're better at flipper sticks than
Yeah, well,
So the interesting thing about this whole the way this whole project's set up is so we have like the research side and we have the training husbandry side, and it's a really unique system. So I've worked in a whole bunch of systems. I've worked in a sort of university lab where the researchers have the animals and sort of stumble through the health and training and don't do a good job of that. And then I've been in the case where I'm going to other aquariums and they've got some trainers, but they don't really understand the research side, so you don't really get what you need. But here I can just go, well, this is what we need. This is why I think we should do it. Because I've got enough exposure now to the training, and the trainings have enough exposure to the science. They go, well, that wouldn't really work. Will you get the same thing if we do it this way? And so you get somebody who really knows the animal and what you can do with the animal, and somebody who knows the science. So it's kind of the best of both. And the good thing about the training staff too is they can sort of put our requests into no problem. You're crazy. That's just going to cause that's going to cause more problems than you solve, or I don't know. Let's give it a shot. And it's actually that middle ground which is really unique, because when we're working with other, like if I go to Mystic Aquarium or somewhere else, if they're not sure, they're not 100% sure, it becomes a no. Whereas with these guys, they know. Well, I don't know if the success, but the consequence.